Good evening, everyone. Oh, the mic's a little bit hot. I apologize for that. Good evening, everyone. It's been 2 weeks, but we are back here at the BS Report. John Stanko here with Kevin Bartnett. Kevin, it's lovely to see you again.
It is phenomenal, as Jim Rohn would say to you.
Phenomenal?
Yeah, the way he tackles a 4-syllable word.
I'm not a big Jim Rohn fan.
Count, jugular, I'm not a fan of either, but
Well, it's been 2 weeks. There's been a lot to cover since we've been gone. We decided before the show the first topic we are going to tackle is NCAA basketball. And specifically, before we even started the show, we almost got into an argument over the Duke-Syracuse debacle that happened last week that sunk Syracuse down to 4th ranked in the AP poll. Duke is now 6th, and now Florida is number 1 in the nation because of this one game at Cameron Indoor.
Outrage.
What are you outraged
Jim
at?
Boeheim was absolutely right. He should have flipped out like that. He had to flip out like that, honestly. He has to defend his team. He may have been there, but there was no way he got his footing down really in time. If he did, he barely got it if he did, honestly. I didn't see anything, honestly. If anything, I thought that was a defensive foul. CJ Fair established. He was already in the air, and the guy just stood there. Rodney Hood, I believe, just stood there. That was absolutely a good basket, and Syracuse should have got an extra foul shot, I thought, rather than being an offensive foul. But as the refs do what they always do, they always play to the Duke home crowd, and that's why Duke won that game, especially when Boeheim got teed up. And really, another thing also, what did Boeheim exactly say?
Okay, first of all, Boeheim ran out to half court to talk to the referee. As a coach, you do not run onto the floor. That's a general rule. That deserves a technical foul.
It does.
Right there. That deserves a technical foul. And an ejection because you're running out onto the court, which is what you're not supposed to do. I argue this. In the first matchup at Cameron Indoor, Rodney Hood went for a dunk to win the game, and he got hacked on the arm, and no foul was called.
He got ball first.
Oh, no, it doesn't matter if you get ball first. If you still get hacked on the arm, it's still a foul.
Got ball first,
it's still a foul when you hit the arm. It doesn't matter if you still hit the arm. It's a foul. It doesn't matter.
Ball first.
Mike Krzyzewski did not run onto the court. He stayed calm and cool. He was like this, and no, he did not get technical foul. He remained calm and cool, and gave Duke a chance to win the game. Syracuse made the Orange lose that game by losing his cool, giving Duke the extra free throws. That is why Syracuse lost, because Jim Boeheim lost his cool. You do not blame a game on the referees. A good coach does not do that, because one call does not affect the game.
Yeah, you know what? CJ Fair that was a good basket, and he should have gotten an extra foul shot.
I'm not even arguing about the. I'm not even arguing.
He would have made that, obviously.
I'm not even arguing with the foul, because I can agree in the slow motion replay it's a blocking foul. I agree with you. I agree with you as a foul, but it does not excuse the fact for Jim Boeheim flipping out, running onto the court, and getting a technical foul. It does not matter, because one call does not decide the game, and the same thing happened at the Carrier Dome. And the same exact situation could have won Duke the game. So don't even argue that this call is egregious, because it was the exact same thing earlier this year when it went in Syracuse's favor.
The block was all ball, though, at Syracuse.
He still got some of the arm after he got it doesn't matter. If you make contact with the body, it's a foul.
He got the ball first, though. So
he got the forearm.
He got the ball.
Did you not watch the replay from the perspective of the basket when you see the arm go and then he gets fouled, and that's why the basket doesn't go in?
Maybe I should go to YouTube and check it out right now.
And then you'll see they hit the forearm first. Oh, that's a shocker.
Maybe I'll check it out right now. We'll see, okay? No, but honestly, Boeheim had every right to run out like that.
No, a coach never has a right to run out like that. Never.
That foul, essentially, they were down by 2. And when that offensive foul was called, that means that they had 2 shots. With Rodney Hood, who's one of the better free throw shooters on the Duke basketball team, he's probably going to make them in front of a home crowd.
It doesn't matter if it's the right call or not. There's still no excuse to flip out. I will say this: when the play first happened, I thought it was a good call in charge, but I would not have called it. I would have gone with a no call. Then in slow motion replay, I was like, all right, that was probably a blocking foul, but I still would have said no call, because in that point in the game. However, that play happened, and guess what? The foul was called. No excuse for Jim Boeheim to lose his cool at all whatsoever.
That foul cost his team the game, I believe, in my opinion. That foul cost his team the game, essentially.
This is the Tortorella of you coming out with the Rangers flipping out over something that's because one mistake cost you the game when there are tons of other reasons why you lost. Cooney can't hit the side of a freaking barn right now.
One, Tortorella flips out when you put the lines out there to start. That's what he flips out about, not about calls, okay? He flips out when you put a line he doesn't like out there. That's when he flips out.
It doesn't matter.
Apparently, that's what caused him to go in the other team's locker room. No dirty plays or anything, But anyway, though, aside from Mr. Tortorella, Boeheim, though, honestly, I think that you have to fight for your team in that situation.
You can fight for your team on the sideline. You can get passionate, throw your jacket onto a chair, whatever. You do not go rushing out onto the court to go talk to a referee. You do not do that. You get penalized in the NFL if you run out onto the court and go talk to a referee. You get penalized in any sport for doing that. There is nothing wrong with the technical foul and the ejection because he lost his cool.
Absolutely, technical foul. So I want to throw him out. I mean, if you actually saw what he said closely, you obviously saw the words that came out of Boeheim's mouth. Obviously, How often do coaches say that though?
Okay, but not in the face to face. Oh, right there. 2 inches apart. You don't say that.
It's a real heated. Honestly, whenever you're in Duke, I mean, people want to beat Duke in Duke. It doesn't happen very often. I think more passion comes out, honestly, in that. That wasn't being stupid. I thought he was being very passionate about this because he wanted to.
Part of a coach is controlling. Part of a coach is controlling your passion.
He wanted to.
That's what you got to do as part of a coach.
And for the most part, he's been excellent at that throughout his whole career. Jim Boeheim's been like a model coach throughout his whole career.
Okay, as model as Coach K? No.
No, probably not. But no, we've seen Coach K have outbursts. He's outbursted a lot.
Okay, when?
He outbursts on his players all the time.
Not on the referees.
I've seen him flip out on referees before.
I want to know if Coach K's ever got ejected from a game.
I will look right now.
I don't know if that's ever happened. I've never seen it. But I give no excuse for Coach Boeheim losing his cool. As a coach, you got to know to keep your cool, because then it's going to keep your players calm when you remain calm. If you get amped up like that and if you go crazy, it's going to get your players riled up, and it's going to get them antsy, and then it's going to lead to more bad things. If that play happened midway through the second half and he got ejected, Syracuse would have fallen apart.
No, that's true, but I still think that when push came to shove, I thought actually Syracuse deserved to win the basketball game.
No,
I thought they did.
I disagree with you.
I just Googled Mike Krzyzewski times ejected, and of course everything that comes up is what happened this past weekend. So this is not a good time, obviously, to talk about it, because all that's going to come is Boeheim, because it's a hot story right now still. But still, I also do not blame the AP for having Syracuse one spot ahead of Duke. I agree with Florida. Florida is a top team, okay?
Yeah, Florida is also winning their game right now.
Wichita State, I would pick them to win the national championship with the way they're playing.
No.
That's what everyone else is saying. Honestly, you know what? I'll tell you right now. Everyone said the same thing to me when I picked Syracuse to go to the national championship last year, and they came pretty close. They came very close last year.
Listen, Wichita State, what they're doing is absolutely fantastic.
They played fantastic in the tournament last year.
They played
phenomenal.
I am aware.
They almost beat Louisville.
I am aware, but I will say this: I think that team would have benefited from a loss. I'm saying that right now. When they're going to run the table, they're going to go undefeated into the tournament. They'll probably be the 2 or 3 seed heading into the tournament.
I think they should be a 1 seed. But
no. They will get a 1 seed.
I think they're a 1 seed. Yeah. Overall.
Overall. No, they're going to get a 1 seed without a doubt. I say they'll get like the 2 or 3 spot, like in terms of the regions. But listen, that team, I think that they're gonna be incredibly confident going in,
which they should be
But when you're that confident going in, an early knockout, maybe in the round of 32, is not out of the question because you're so confident you can win. A team that's good but not great, if they play great, they can compete with Wichita State if they slack at all.
I wouldn't. I see your point, honestly, but I think that people showed last year they are for real. And this is not a fluke. I mean,
last year they kind of surprised people.
They're last year, right where they left off.
Last year, I think they kind of came out of the radar a little bit. They're not nearly as well known. They were not nearly as well known last year as they are this year.
What was what number 1 seed did they beat last year? Was it Gonzaga who they beat? Was it Gonzaga number 1 seed last year?
Yeah, they were.
So it was Gonzaga.
I think it was Gonzaga.
They beat Gonzaga. Then they had a fairly easy Sweet 16 game when they went up against LaSalle last year. They were probably better than LaSalle, who was a 13 seed, but then they beat Ohio State pretty handily. And I was mad about that because I had Ohio State in the Final Four.
I think I did too. So
three of my Elite 8 teams, 3 of my Final Four teams lost in the Elite 8 last year. Thank you, Syracuse, for at least getting it right for last year. So, no, but what I was saying was, going off that, I think that they are legit. They played really well this year, and they were right there with Louisville for the whole game. they were right there with them, and they could have beat them very easily, I think.
Listen, do I think they have the capability to win it all? Yes. Do I think that they will? I honestly don't think so. I would take the experience of Billy Donovan coaching in the NCAA tournament with the way his team's playing right now.
They got a good team, yeah.
Florida right now is undeniably the number one team in the nation. I think that's without a doubt.
I think Syracuse, I mean, I could see them going back to the Final Four, most of the same pieces last year. A lot of them that are back. Tyler Ennis has really stepped his game up this year. CJ Fair is just a nice player, I think.
Yeah, like
he's just a nice player.
The ESPN broadcast during that Duke-Syracuse game made a great point in which CJ Fair is not the MVP of Syracuse, but he's the most important player.
It's kind of
Ennis is their MVP, but Fair is what makes them go.
He's kind of like what Ryan Kelly was to Duke last year.
Yes.
Right, like Duke didn't lose a regular season game with Ryan Kelly, but when they didn't have him last year, they lost a couple of games. They lost a fair amount of games, and when he came back, actually, I had said, maybe he was the most valuable guy to his team, and I picked Duke to win it all last year. It worked out really well, obviously, but thanks Louisville. But that's actually annoying. I was actually annoyed at that they got in the same region, let alone same side, because I was going to pick that. From the beginning, I wanted to pick either Louisville or Duke to go to the national championship, and they were in the same region, which I was very annoyed by. But, I agree with that statement, though. Fair's just a good college player, and I don't think he'll be a star in the pros, but I think that he could be a late first-round pick, so therefore a good team will get him. I could see him, fitting into a team like, say, the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah,
they have a tendency to turn guys who are good college players into just good role players, and they fit in well to their team.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think he's a good, solid player. He's struggling a bit shooting of late, if I remember correctly. He's not shooting the ball.
His strength, anyway, is driving to the basket.
Exactly.
He's got everything you like in a player. Honestly, he's athletic. He plays good defense. I mean, he
can he play man-to-man defense? That's the question. That's the question everyone has to answer out of Syracuse. You're so good at the zone. Can you switch to the man-to-man?
I think he's a good enough athlete where he can. But a lot of these guys are good athletes.
I agree with you. I want to get your thoughts though on the Kansas Jayhawks because they are riding hot right now, and they're on track to win the Big 12 once again.
For the 11th year in a row.
Yeah.
They had some hard times at the beginning there, honestly. But like I said, I was talking about Wichita State. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Kansas national championship. Or Wichita State, Kansas national championship, honestly.
Bold prediction in late February.
No, because I think really they just have such a great balance. But Joel Embiid is a beast down low. I don't know anybody in the nation who has stopped him yet.
Averaging 8 rebounds a game, nearly 3 blocks a game.
He's a very, very good chance he's the number 1 overall pick.
And a very good chance he's climbed up the rankings.
A very good chance his teammate Andrew Wiggins goes number 2. Now Wiggins isn't the player that everyone thought he was going to be, when he came in this year. But when they talk about whenever they ask Coach Bill Self, he says that Andrew Wiggins plays the role he's asked every single night. He does it exceptionally well. So every single day. So maybe he's just doing what the coach is telling him to do.
Well, I think what makes Andrew Wiggins so special is there's so much to build on with him. I don't think he's great at anything now, but I think NBA teams see that they can mold him into a superstar if he gets into the right place. He needs to get bigger. First of all, he's a little scrawny, but he's had clutch moments this year, getting them late wins. I believe he got the buzzer beater against Texas Tech to give them the win on the layup. The Kansas team is riding hot right now. They're going to win the Big 12 once again. With Oklahoma State was the preseason favorite. Now they're 6-9 in conference.
Once Marcus Smart got suspended, that was it.
What was your take on that? We didn't have a show during that week.
He definitely deserved to get suspended, honestly.
I agree with you.
You push a fan no matter what he says, honestly. He apologized. He took full responsibility for it. He did the right thing to do after. He deserved to get suspended for it. But he missed more than 3 games off.
He missed 3 games.
He missed the 3 games.
He missed 3 games.
He did, okay. But they lost 7 in a row, though.
Yeah, they really struggled for a first stretch.
They're gonna really have to play really good down the stretch.
Yeah, they're gonna need to make a run in the Big 12 tournament to have any shot. They lost 1, 2, 3. They lost 7 in a row, including 2 overtime games, a triple overtime game to Iowa State too. And listen, their closing schedule for Oklahoma State versus Kansas.
Got to be Kansas
versus Kansas State rival.
Yeah, who I watched that game actually against Kansas. Against Kansas State, where Kansas was down by 9 with a minute and a half to go, and they came back to tie up at Kansas State, won in overtime.
Yep, and then their final game of the season at Iowa State. So not an easy final stretch of the regular season for the Cowboys.
I haven't been too impressed with them, honestly. I really haven't. But
I don't think they're flashy. I think they're just a good team. It's like Creighton. I don't think Creighton has a chance to win the national championship, but they're a good, solid team.
Doug McDermott is like that Creighton team just make all I can think about every time I hear Doug McDermott and Creighton is Jimmer Fredette and BYU all over.
That's true. So
that's
true.
Just all I can think of.
That's a great analogy. That's fantastic.
That's just what I keep thinking about. Honestly, I don't think McDermott will be anything in the pros. I really don't.
I think he has a better shot than Jimmy. I think McDermott is more balanced than Jimmy was.
Jimmer is actually his contract is being
bought out
as we speak. Actually,
yeah. So bye Jimmy. Skip Bayless took credit on Twitter saying he called it, saying he was going to be a bust. I think a lot of people did, so I don't think Skip is alone in that.
Yeah, Skip Bayless also was convinced Tim Tebow was a good quarterback. So
This is true.
So let's. Anyway, but I can't wait for the NCAA tournament this year. I mean, I think you got a lot because this is one of the deepest draft class in recent memory, honestly. So therefore, like the excitement in college is going to be buzzing big time. Honestly,
I agree with you.
The talent pool is high, but the one team that's really hot right now is right in front of us.
The Iona College Gales.
Yes, they have clinched a double bye.
Yes, both teams, the men and the women, are not playing on the opening day of the MAC tournament. They both Iona, the men's team, they can clinch the #1 MAC regular season championship on Friday with a win at Manhattan.
Big game.
It is their biggest game of the year. That game is going to be rocking. It's on ESPN2. The whole country's going to see how great this rivalry is. It's going to be fantastic. And the women's team, they can secure a share of the regular season title and a #1 seed in the MAC tournament with a win Thursday at Quinnipiac.
See, now you are the voice of the women's basketball.
That I am.
So, do you think the women will get an at-large bid if they do not win the MAC?
Here is my reasoning. Here is what I think.
I'm just gonna say I think they absolutely deserve it.
I think the loss to Ryder kills them. If they didn't lose that game and then say they lose to Marist on the last regular season game and then they don't win the MAC tournament, then they had a shot. If you lose to Marist twice, then Marist is a good team. The committee knows them because they've been in the tournament for so long now.
They have already beaten Marist.
They beat Marist at Marist, which is a great win in conference, a phenomenal win. If Iona beats Marist in the regular season final here at home on March 2nd at noon for everyone who should go on senior day, and then loses in the MAC championship maybe to Marist, then they can still get an at-large bid because you beat the team that has dominated your conference 2 out of 3 times. Marist has dominated this conference for nearly a decade. So I think that's the only way they can get an at-large bid is if they beat Marist home on the last game of the season and then lose in the MAC championship. But with that being said, they have a good shot as Marist to win the conference.
Honestly, it was a tough loss last year, and they got it handed to them in the conference championship last year. So I really hope that the women do pick it up this year and do win, honestly, as do the men, honestly. That would be great, I think. This would bring so much buzz to our campus.
Imagine if they both won.
If they both win,
it'd be unbelievable.
If they both win, honestly, I think that this would just bring so much buzz to our campus, a lot of excitement and everything, so I'm really excited.
Yeah, that spot on CBS, if a team gets in there on ESPN for Iona, it's more publicity than you could ever pay for.
Yeah.
It just to have the whole nation watching you.
We also do not know how much longer we could be in these things, because, with what the school's planning, and did you see the new layout for the new arena?
Yeah, the massive plan for Iona, 5-year plan, first phase was announced.
Yes, and it was like, a 14,000 seat arena or something?
Yeah, new arena, new ticketing center.
3,500 right now, which is about 1,500 under the minimum to get a major conference school to come here. I think the major conference schools legally can't come here because our seating is not big enough. So, but I do not know how much longer they're going to be in the MAC for honestly.
Listen, I don't see us leaving the MAC very soon. Granted, there were shifts already last year with bringing Quinnipiac and Monmouth in, but I think we're in the Metro Atlantic Conference for a good while. I don't see us leaving anytime soon. I'd be surprised.
I think maybe because obviously the plan is it's a 10-year plan, so.
I thought it was 5-year plan.
Oh, I thought it was a 10-year. When it came to the arena, I thought it was a 10-year plan.
Oh, no, it was part of phase 1 of the 5-year plan. So I don't know if the arena is a separate plan. I don't know.
Yeah, the arena it's pretty. It's going to be pretty big.
Yeah, they're going to put suites in there. They're going to put new entertainment areas. They're going to new strength and conditioning center. Everything is going to be redone.
It's going to be fantastic.
For when we're gone.
Yeah,
for when we're gone. A new video broadcasting room for high definition broadcast, which I did not have through my time here, 4 years. They're going to get it when I'm gone. Not gonna lie, a little bit spiteful, a little bit jealous.
But I have a question for you about this. Now, switching over to the men's side, do you believe that AJ English is the next one at Iona?
Oh, yes.
People have compared him to Scott Machado, Mike Glover.
Okay, you cannot compare him to Scott Machado. Scott Machado was once in a lifetime. To have that skilled of a passer and a point guard at your school is unbelievable.
I think what AJ's doing, though, he is a transfer from a junior college, I believe, but he's playing fantastic on it.
Oh, no, he is, but I think he still has a way to go to be a Scott Machado. Listen, he's going to be the face of this team next year. It's undeniable. He's going to be the face of this team.
His numbers are identical with Sean Armand, but Sean's a senior, I know, and AJ's only a sophomore. I mean, Sean being a senior, obviously, Sean is shooting a much better percentage, obviously.
Yeah, he's 43% from beyond the arc, I believe.
Sean is 43%. He's also shooting 48% field goal percentage, and 80% from the free throw line, where AJ is shooting 40 and 37. But I think without AJ, this team is AJ and Sean are clearly what makes this team going. And David Lowry playing down low. If we had Lowry, I think during the year
Lowry.
I call him Lowry.
Lowry.
Excuse my French on that, but I think Lowry. If we had Lowry, a guy like him, for the year we had Machado and Glover to be that center, I mean, I think.
Granted, Mike Glover was pretty darn good at what he did.
He was good, but he was a power forward. He wasn't a center. He was too small to be a center. He was only 6'7". So, but I think if we had Lowry for that team, we would have been a force to be reckoned with in the whole tournament. Honestly,
I think what makes AJ so special this year is his switch to the point guard spot. We didn't have a true point guard. Deshaun Gomez, Tavon Sledge not getting as many minutes this year. We needed someone to step in at the point guard spot. AJ went in there. His first game was against Kansas when I think he dropped 27 points or something like that. Was the highest scorer for Iona. Maybe besides Ryan Hines, he also had a great game against the Jayhawks. But AJ was transferring to the point guard spot, still being able to score and being able to facilitate the way he does is remarkable.
I mean, some of these guys' presence, like Trey Bowman, his presence just I think makes them a better team right now. Though when I saw us roster being in there, I firmly believe all 4 years. I mean, we haven't won of all 4 years. We've been the best team in the MAC all 4 years. Honestly, we didn't win in our first year. We lost St. Peter's, obviously, but I still thought we were the best team that year. I really did, honestly. And then the second year, we were the best team. We just had a bad turn. We had a bad game against.
And then the at-large bid, and
then we had the at-large bid last year. We did win the MAC tournament,
which was great.
I mean, Niagara was the #1 team last year, if I'm correct. Now they're in last place in the conference.
Well, that's what happens when your coach leaves, your best player leaves, and
actually,
you don't have a defense.
I went to school with Antoine Mason, actually.
Did you really?
Yes, I did. And he's a very good player.
Oh, I believe he might not be a leading scorer in the MAC anymore, but he was.
He was the leading scorer in the nation for a little bit.
He was in the nation. I think Billy Barron might have taken over the leading scorer spot in the MAC.
McDermott is now the leading scorer in the nation.
I believe so.
So, yeah. But Mason, I mean, I thought he had a shot to get drafted. You know, it would have been cool maybe because we already have a couple of guys from New Rochelle. We would have had a guy from New Rochelle then in all 4 leagues if Mason got drafted. We have Tommy Kohler, the pitcher, who you met. We met at City Field together. Yep. We have Kevin Shattenkirk, also a member of Team USA in hockey.
Did he not score a goal?
Shattenkirk did not score a goal. He had a couple of assists, though.
Yeah, okay. I remember hearing the words New Rochelle on TV. It was pretty sweet.
And then a guy who's not getting so much good PR these days, in Ray Rice.
Yeah.
So I mean, Mason. It would have been nice, if Mason maybe could have made that, and then made a team, but.
You know what? Let's take a commercial break. After this break, we'll get. I think I want to talk about that Ray Rice situation. Yeah. I think it's an interesting topic. Then we'll let you vent on the NFL Combine. The next Mel Kiper Jr. over here sitting next to me.
Todd. I can't tell you, Todd.
We'll take a short break here on WICR. This is the BS Report. John Stanko and Kevin Bartonett.